Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. We'll begin in 60 seconds.
Take the day off with me. Come on, take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on traffic. Traffic with my friend right here. That's what I say. The past set jacks, they ending up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When I left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Baby, the whole fucking year. Oh, we on. Bitch, I'm fucking prepared. This is my love song when I'm drunk off the beer. I love you, bitch. I'm the...
Very boldly, you could end this Ukrainian-Russia war in 24 hours.
Yeah.
How?
So I know Zelensky very well because he was very honorable with the fake phone call, impeachment hoax #1. They said I made a phone call to him and I was very threatening. I wasn't at all. I was actually very nice. I was congratulating him on a victory. But when they asked him, they said, were you threatened? He didn't even know what they were talking about. He was very honorable. He could have done grandstand. He said, yeah, I felt threatened. I felt threatened. He didn't do that. And as you know, I get along very well with Putin. I would tell Putin, got to settle. I would tell Zelensky, you got to settle. I would tell one, you're going to load up with money. I'd tell the other, you're not going to get any money. I would get a settlement in 24 hours. Now, it should have never happened. You have thousands, hundreds of thousands of dead people right now, hundreds of thousands. You have cities that are obliterated. I don't know if you've ever seen the cities after they finish with the rockets. You have cities with no building standing. It looks like just a demolition zone. It's so horrible.
Sad.
And and then they'll say 2 people were hurt. No, hundreds of people and thousands of people were killed. You're going to find out when this whole thing is over that the number of people killed is far greater than they tell you. They're not telling you the truth. Many, many thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are dying. These cities are being obliterated. And basically they say, what's your stance? Are you for Russia or are you for... I'm for one thing very simple. I want to stop people from getting killed, and I'll have it stop fast.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
I don't know that they want to settle. If they don't want to settle, we're out of there. I watched over the last week or so what's going on in Europe. This thing could end up in World War III if we don't get it settled.
U.S. President Donald Trump seemed to be holding back a smirk as he prepared to rip into the United Nations, starting with its escalators.
All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter.
In fact, the unresponsive teleprompter was brought in by the White House. But the U.S. president used it to accuse the UN of being inoperative, incapable of ending wars, of subsidizing undocumented migration to the U.S. Then he ridiculed his European allies for what he called a pathetic green energy agenda and their open border policy.
Your countries are going to hell.
But no sooner had he got the message out of his system that he made a sudden U-turn in a meeting with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres.
Our country is behind the United Nations 100%. I think the potential of the United Nations is incredible, really incredible. It can do so much. So I'm behind it.
But there was another unexpected turnaround to come. After meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump said that he now believed that the Ukraine could win back all of its original territory taken by Russia with military and financial help from NATO and the EU. And when asked, he said that he believed that Russian aircraft should be shot down if they violate EU airspace. It was music to the embattled Ukrainian president's ears.
Trump is a game changer by himself. If he will be sure in Ukraine, and I think that he is more close now to this situation.
But the elephant in the room was the very legitimacy of the UN, which is being widely questioned for being unable to fulfill its founding principles, guaranteeing world peace and the respect for international law. The question is, who's to blame? The institution or its most powerful members who continue to hold veto power on the Security Council? Lucia Newman, Al Jazeera at the United Nations.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.
He's doing a really good job. He's fighting hard. He's fighting on a lot of fronts. He's helping with regard to the Russia-Ukraine catastrophe. And his words of wisdom mean a lot. And we've been friends for a long time now, really, from the first term on. And I appreciate you being here. It's really nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm very happy to have the opportunity to exchange with President Trump and our teams. And indeed, we have a lot of things to do together, and especially fix these crazy wars we have. And I just saw the message you issued after your meeting with the President Zelensky, and I think it's a very right one. I mean, if we back completely Ukraine in this situation, given the Russian economy is suffering, I mean, there is this opportunity of a good future.
It is.
So we will back it.
I think so. They're very enthusiastic in a lot of ways. It's been a terrible war, should have ended. And Russia should have stopped it. But they've been 3.5 years and they've gotten not so far. So we'll see what happens. But the other side can fight too. And they've proven that. Maybe it could be that Russia's a paper tiger. I don't know what they are, but 3.5 years of fighting and killing everybody, of killing 7,000 people a week for nothing. So it's a very sad situation. But most of you have seen the recent statement I put out a little while ago. And I'm glad you got it. But I feel that way. I really did feel that way. Let them get their land back.
Yep.
So we'll see how it all works out.
Let's move on to Ukraine, because huge issue, and it's being perceived, I don't know how you perceive it, I'd be interested in your reaction, that Trump has made a dramatic switch from, remember, in the Oval Office telling Zelensky in front of the world that you have no cards, you need to negotiate, you need to call a ceasefire, you have no cards, to here saying that, yes, I actually think that with EU, NATO help, you can actually win back your territory. First, do you agree with what his assessment is, and what do you attribute his shift to?
Well, we always were convinced and are convinced that Ukraine's fight is not only for Ukraine's independence and sovereignty, but it's a question for the global order and the respect for the Charter, the sovereignty and territorial integrity of countries. Second, we have been working very hard to support Ukraine, but also to show that there's a strong coalition of the willing, making sure that once peace is there, we are able to give the security guarantees to Ukraine it needs. And the third point is most important. It took a while, but the evidence is overwhelming to show to President Trump that President Putin is the predator, that he does not want peace, and that we have to be very clear that the international rules have to be respected. And this is what you heard then yesterday.
I heard it from the president yesterday, you're right. And he said, Putin has really disappointed me. I thought, as he said many times, I could fix this war because of my relationship with Putin. I didn't realize that that wasn't going to be the case. But my question to you is, do you think this signals a ramping up of EU, NATO aid to Ukraine for the purpose of what Trump said, that they can win back their territory? Do you think that is what the aim is now? What is the aim for Ukraine?
So what the United States do is their decision. But the European Union has always been crystal clear that we're going to support Ukraine in what it needs. So far, 175 billion have been invested in Ukraine's defense, but also economic survival. And we will stay the course. We will be ironclad by the side of Ukraine. And that is also giving them the military capabilities they need to defend their country.
But what is your assessment? Is the aim now for them to fight to regain their territory? Or is it to keep defending, as you've said, and get to a place where Putin takes everybody seriously, including Ukraine, for reasonable negotiations? What's the aim?
So the aim is, of course, the decision on what is Ukrainian territory to be defended. That's a Ukraine decision. And we respect that. The aim is that Putin comes to the negotiation table and sits down and negotiates because we all want peace.
President Trump has over and again, I'm not going to use the word threatened, but said that he will punish Putin in various ways if he doesn't do X in 2 weeks or in 11 days or in 20. I'm making it up, constant deadlines that keep being fudged and missed. Now he's saying he's ready to impose tough sanctions on Putin, and this is a couple of weeks ago, as long as allies, NATO, European allies, stop buying fossil fuel energy and etc. from the Russians. What's your response to that?
Well, President Trump is right. It's unacceptable that through the back door, Russian fossil fuel come back. Just a figure, we have reduced Russian fossil fuels in Europe by 80%. Zero coal from Russia, for example, only 3% of oil from Russia, so really drastically reduced. But what I see that LNG comes through the back door, so we just propose to sanction LNG coming to the European market that comes from Russia.
Okay, I'm just going to read you a Trump quote. He basically says, think about it. He's talking about you and other NATO nations. They're funding the war against themselves. In other words, by buying Russian oil. Who ever heard of that? He actually said, who the hell ever heard of that one? So you're agreeing then?
Look, 3 years ago, when the war started, indeed, there was a huge dependency on Russian gas.
Yep.
And Putin cut us off the gas. We had a huge energy crisis. We diversified away to others and friends. We invested massively in renewables and nuclear, so that today we almost got rid of Russian fossil fuels. And it's correct, we have to finish that job. We have to get rid of Russian fossil fuels because it's only filling the Russian war chest.
So who's standing in the middle of this? So you have imposed a ban on maritime Russian oil imports, refined products like diesel. But as you say, many countries continue to import those fossil fuels and liquefied LNG, as you say, around the back door. So who are the culprits? Is it Slovakia? Is it Turkey? Is it Hungary? Who is it?
It is some member states in the European Union that are still having LNG or Russian oil. And here we just, as I said, issued a sanctions package that makes very clear that in a few months they have to get rid of the LNG because it is sanctioned.
Yeah. You gotta bust past, don't catch no feelings. I come through with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the TikTok don't stop. I was at shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot pot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big One was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Cold do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had a bill, throw the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side. Take the day off with me. Come and take it off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Get on trap free. Trapping with my friend right here. That's what I say. The best set jacks to ending up to nothing. Everybody loves it with me. Okay, yeah. When mom cut off your welfare, I was there. Holding you down, mama. Holding you down. When I left you alone, I was there. Everybody knows I was there. You wanna call me out now? Still loving you like I'm loving the sound. Yes, I'll still be there. Them found ass niggas ain't here right now. Who loves you now? And who loves you now? And who loves you now? Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off with me. Take the day off. Take the day off with me. Maybe the whole fucking year. Oh, Leon, bitch, I'm motherfucker prepared. This is my love song when I'm drunk off the beer. I love you, bitch. I'm the. Yeah. Take the day off. Cause that fucking 9 to 5 sucks. Take the day off. Opportunity, what? Take the day off. Take the day off. Start from the beginning. Yeah. You gotta bust past, don't catch no feelings. I come through with the style that's always revealing. From the block like the tick-tock, don't stop. I was that shorty, you know she was non-stop. I had the hot clot, chilling like a real god. Everybody know Big Juan was a show shot. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. You get high with the Don, here's the real supply. It goes on and on, ain't no fucking questions why. The gangster of love, get the real fucking supply. What? She came through, giving me more than I can tell you. Everybody knows the next level. I'm so clever. Take the day off. Take the day off. Yeah. Get high on your own supply. Feel like a dime when you do or die. Just get high on my own supply. Do or die when I'm feeling like why. Choose a dime piece. Yes, one of a kind. Holler at me, I was one of a kind. We had to build through the shoes to the side. Come on, throw them shoes to the side.